Right, good evening everybody and welcome to our live information event for our Hairdressing and Barbering Academy 2020. Thank you for joining us tonight on what is a really warm summer's evening. I hope you're all doing okay out there. This information event will take, we hope, between half an hour and 45 minutes. What normally would have happened is we would have all been in college tonight, meeting each other and getting to know each other. But obviously due to current restrictions, we are in fact doing this remotely via Microsoft Teams. If at any point tonight your internet does drop off, please don't worry, you'll be able to rejoin us using the link that you followed to get here. This live stream is also being recorded, so if you do lose your internet or you need to go anywhere, please don't worry. In about 48 hours, this live stream will be available on the college website, so you'll be able to catch up if you do miss anything. There's also a Q&A function on tonight's event, so if you can see something on your screen that looks a little bit like a post-it note with a question mark on it, that is your Q&A function. So if you've got a question you'd like to put to the panel, feel free to put it in there. What I will say is those questions do come through anonymously. So if your question is quite specific, can I ask that you put your full name in your question as well? That will only come through to myself as the moderator. It just means then that if your question is quite specific, we can come back to you separately. So say if you do put a question in, please do put your name in there as well, just so that we know who it is that we're speaking to. So I've got myself and three of my colleagues on the panel tonight who I'm going to introduce you to. First of all, my name is Emily. I am the Apprenticeship Hub Manager. I'm also the host of our live event this evening. Then we've got Rob Neal. Robin is one of our business development managers and he looks after hairdressing and beauty as one of his sectors. We've got Amy Garrett, who is our lecturer and assessor for hair and beauty. And then a lady that I'm sure you've all spoken to before is a lady called Julie Perks. Julie is one of our employment officers and she's also our Hairdressing and Barbering Academy coordinator. So those are who you're going to hear from tonight. So I'm going to hand you over now to my colleague Robin, and Robin's just going to give you a little bit of an introduction to the Academy.
Hi everybody, thanks for joining us this evening. So I thought I'd start off by giving you a little bit of a background as to what the academies actually are. So we successfully ran an engineering academy last year, which has actually led to the expansion into construction and hairdressing. So we're looking at replicating that model across different areas. The academies were developed with employers to identify and recruit future apprentices. We find that some of our students, they tend to jump into a career path without actually fully understanding what they're actually getting into. They may think that it's something that they want to do, but without actually having any experience or any look into it, they're not always sure it is something for them. So these academy programs really help them to gain an insight into their chosen career pathway. They really appeal to employers as the students already come to them with experience and they are industry aware. The academies help the students to gain a competitive edge over their peers by demonstrating their commitment. They're more likely to succeed and gain an apprenticeship if they've gone through this pathway. And the reason for that is the employers really like to see that commitment from potential students. We also do things like monitoring the students' attendance and their punctuality, which is something that will really help support the interview process. That is basically all I've got to say about that. So I'm going to pass you over to Amy now, who will give you a full run through of the actual content of the Hairdressing Academy.
Good evening guys, I hope you're all well and enjoying the sun. My name is Amy and I'm the assessor instructor within the hairdressing department. I just want to speak to you all about the facilities that we offer at Dudley College. If you look to the top left, you will see the building that is called Evolve. The bottom of that building is where the salon is located. The top right image is where we carry out the hair services. The salon is open to the members of the public, so you would get hands-on experience. We have over 20 hairdressing stations, fully equipped using Weller products as we are a Weller salon. We're able to carry out cuts, colours, perms with an assessor on site to give you guidance or instruction when needed. And this helps to give you and clients the best salon experience. So in my next slide, I will talk to you about the hair content and what would be involved in your academy programme. So things have changed slightly from how we did originally plan due to C19. However, the end goal remains the same. We're looking at doing a 1-week hairdressing programme, which will involve your theory and your practical, and then another week which will involve employability and interview skills. The aim of you attending the academy is so you get a holistic insight into how to carry out a full hairdressing service. So that would be how you prepare for hair services, considering your health and safety, how you contribute to the effective working relationships, so consultation, help you to discuss with your clients to see what they want from the service. We would then look at shampoo and conditioning, so how to carry out that service and the terminology behind it. And then we would finish with blow drying the hair. So as a whole, you would leave the academy knowing how to carry out a full service, which then would prepare you to move on to your next course. I will now pass you on to my colleague Julie.
Hi everyone, it's Julie here. I'm the one that's been speaking with you over the last few months. Thanks so much for attending. For the employability part of the programme, it is currently proposed that no college attendance will be required. It's all going to be delivered online. You'll be provided with an employability booklet that will contain sections such as CV writing, interview tips and advice, interview preparation. We also have a salon owner who will be joining us. She'll talk about her own career pathway and provide advice and tips and answer any questions that you may have. We will also be creating candidate profiles for you, ready for employers, and these will highlight your qualities and strengths, your hobbies and your aspirations. And just to advise you, in case you don't already know, within the college located in the main Broadway campus, there's an employment hub where myself and other officers register potential apprentices onto our databases, onto our books, so to speak. Apprenticeship recruiting takes place all year round as employers' needs can change at any time. For this reason, you can enrol onto a hair or barbering apprenticeship at various starting points throughout the year. If you don't gain an apprentice job by September and you join our full-time courses, you'll remain on our database for as long as necessary, and we will continue to match you to vacancies that we receive. If you then later gain employment, we would simply transfer you from the full-time course over to an apprenticeship course. So I'll be keeping in touch with you throughout the academy programme and also afterwards, especially to advise you of any new hair or barbering job vacancies that we do receive. So I'll now hand you back to Amy to discuss the progression routes.
So, on completion of the academy, you would then move on to a full-time hairdressing course, if that's what you preferred. We offer an introduction to hair and beauty, a level 1 hairdressing course, level 1 barbering course, and level 2 full-time hairdressing course. Of course, you could also go to an apprenticeship programme, so there's a lot of options there that the staff would help you to discuss what's better for you. On completion of those programmes, you would then move on to your level 3 apprenticeship or level 3 full-time. I just want to speak to you about some experiences that I've seen with progression with some of my own learners. I've seen learners come from level 2 full-time, level 2 apprenticeship programmes to become salon owners, to work with cruise ships such as Steiner, who we work with very closely in our department. That is some of the progression routes you can do. And as stated, I have actually seen that happen with previous students. So the career pathway can extend to whatever you prefer it to be, and you would be fully supported by myself and other staff members to achieve your goals. I will now pass you on to my colleague, Robin.
Thank you, Amy. So what we've got in front of us here is just a few of the employers that we currently work with. We work with many employers across the region, some of your local hairdressing salons and some of the larger chains, as you can see here. As Julie mentioned, the way that we run our apprenticeship programs tend to be what we call roll on, roll off. So they can start at the year. it's really important that as part of my job role, I'm in regular contact with employers like this to see if they have any apprenticeship requirements, so we can easily transition you from a full-time course into an apprenticeship course if you weren't able to get one straight away at the end of the academy. Next slide, please. Okay, so obviously we're in quite difficult times at the moment, so the college has had to adapt the way that we are working, both in the college itself and also with sessions like we're running now. So we're really prioritising making the college safe. Part of that is we're having a reduced class size to make sure that we're keeping social distancing. We're implementing blended learning, so that could be you coming into the college for maybe a day a week or a day a month, and then having support through distance learning platforms. All of our buildings have got clear signage, directions, so we're trying to implement a one-way system throughout the college to keep everybody socially distanced. There's hand sanitizer points throughout the building, so you can actually utilise those. And again, classrooms are all set up with social distancing in place. And PPE will be worn where appropriate. Toilets will have signage on the door to say what is the maximum amount of people allowed in there at any one time. I'm now going to pass you back to Julie, who will continue on with the presentation.
Thanks, Robbie. So there'll be no barriers for someone with a disability or a learning difficulty. If anyone requires additional support or assistance, Tammy Haycock from our support department will be able to assist you. If you would like to speak with her before or during the academy, her contact details are showing. Alternatively, you can contact me and I will provide you with her details. As stated on the slide, if you would like to discuss any social or emotional issues, she will also be able to assist you. Next slide, please, Emily. So the academy will start on Monday, 17th of August. Confirmation of college attendance and start and finishing times will be advised to you at a later date. If you do attend college, you will be required to wear a black t-shirt, black trousers and flat black shoes. Sorry, no trainers. After today's presentation, I will be emailing you an application form for you and your parents or guardians to complete to reserve your place on the academy. I will respond to you so you know that I have received it. We look forward to having you on the programme, but if you have any questions in the meantime, you have my email and my mobile number already and you can contact me at any time. Thanks, Emily.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that. So what we're going to do now is just have a look at the Q&A and see if we've had any questions come through. Let's have a look. So we've just had the one question through tonight, and that's a question for Amy. So Amy, if you're able to answer any question regarding any kit that they may need if they go onto a full-time programme, is there a uniform, for example?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so with regards to the kit and uniform, for a full-time learner, they would purchase that uniform, which is a tunic and trousers, same colour so they match. For an apprenticeship, it is just the tunic that is needed and the learner would buy them, we would then reimburse them. Kit-wise, they're pretty much the same, so they include your combs, your scissors, your clips. On your full-time programme, you would pay for that kit. If you were to do an apprenticeship, you would get that kit given to you for free, but you are expected to take care of them.
Fantastic, thanks Amy. Robin, we've got a question through for yourself, Robin, and this is someone who's obviously looking towards the end of the programme. Are you allowed to just talk a little bit about what someone would look to get paid if they go on to an apprenticeship?
Yeah, so an apprentice will be entitled to get the national minimum wage for apprentices. Now, I can't remember off the top of my head now, you put me on the spot what that is. I think is it £4.10 an hour at the moment?
£4.15 as of the 1st of April.
£4.15 an hour. So that's the absolute bare minimum that you would get. But other salons tend to, look at the experience of the learner and maybe pay them a little bit more. but it is very much on a case-by-case basis. But the very minimum is that £4.15 an hour.
Fab. And obviously you don't get taxed on that either, so that's money that you take home in your back pocket.
Yeah.
Can I just step in there, Emily?
Of course you can.
I know that I've been asked that question before and people have said, oh, but £4, you know, something. But what people need to realise when they're doing apprenticeship is that is giving you a career and you can progress and progress and progress. So yes, at the start it's a little bit difficult with a lower wage maybe. However, you know, that will increase as time goes by and you've got your career in front of you with that company. So please don't be put off by that.
Yeah, I think we all agree that sort of apprenticeship minimum wage exists because employers recognise that you are going to walk in on day one and you're probably not going to know one end of a hairdryer from the other, and you're not going to know everything. So it is a training wage, and many employers will look at maybe kind of increasing your wages as you complete the qualification. So as I say, the bare minimum you'll start on is that £4.15 an hour, which is about £600 a month. So it's actually, you know, any of us who are a little bit older, that's not a bad wage for your first job, so it's
really
not bad.
And for all the training that you get given is fantastic.
Yeah. So and then someone's just asked a question about, do I get paid if I'm in college? In short, yes. You get paid a wage for 5 days a week, and those 5 days a week will include your college day, so you don't lose any money for going into college on a day release apprenticeship. So then we've got a question for you, Amy, and this is again around apprenticeships. How often can they expect to see their assessor if they go on to an apprenticeship, Amy?
So I visit every 6 to 8 weeks. That is what the awarding body states. However, I do keep very close contact. So you would go into college once a week, and I always pop into your sessions to have a chat to see how you're progressing. So assessment-wise, you would be seen every 6 to 8 weeks. However, you will see me every week alongside your tutors to check your progress.
Fantastic. Thank you very much for that, Amy. And then we've got another question which I'm going to pass back to Robin for. And this is a question someone's come in anonymously and asked, are they allowed to have a part-time job whilst on an apprenticeship?
That's a good one. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest with you.
No, it's the answer to that one. The only reason being really is that if you are employed full time, you're going to find it very, very difficult to have a part-time job as well. So it's not that you're not allowed, it's that you would find it you need to sleep. You need time to sleep. You need time to study. So the general rule is no. You wouldn't be having a part-time job whilst on an apprenticeship, because an apprenticeship is between 30 and 40 hours a week. If you're working a 40-hour week in a salon, you need your rest time. You need your downtime. So that's quite an easy one to answer, really. This one I'll go back to Robin for, and this is just someone asking about maths and English, Robin, which is something that we haven't really covered. And I guess, and again, this is in terms of apprenticeship. So obviously, you're just able to advise about what kind of maths and English support there might be, or whether GCSEs are a requirement.
Okay, so this is one I can answer. So maths and English, GCSE sort of C grade, it's a preferred, but it's not an essential. And the reason for that is we do actually run something called functional skills alongside all of our apprenticeships. Functional skills will be done, I think it's either before or after your day at college for sort of an hour here or there, depending on what your requirements are. And we will take you from a level 1, which is sort of the equivalent of a sort of a D grade. And by the end of the programme, we'll be aiming to get you up to a level 2, which is the equivalent of that GCSE C grade. However, it is not essential that you pass your level 2 in maths and English for your level 2 apprenticeship. You would only be required to have your level 2 in maths and English if you were then to move on to a level 3 hairdressing, which is something that obviously we'd always recommend. If this is your career path, you would need to actually be fully qualified at a level 3. So my recommendation would be, if you are somebody that knows that you might need a little bit of extra support, then try and put that little bit of extra effort in while you're doing your level 2, so then you haven't got to do your maths and English when you're actually trying your level 3 apprenticeship.
Fantastic, thank you, Robin. And then just got time for one last question, which I can answer that one. And it's just a question about the support and pastoral support that's available in college. When you enrol with Dudley College, whether you are an apprentice or a full-time learner, you have full access to our support services. So things like the college counsellors, we have a team of fully qualified college counsellors who are on hand to support you. We have a safeguarding team. We also have a really fantastic student union, which I say, even whether you are a full-time learner or an apprentice, you can also join the student union. So they arrange things like trips to Alton Towers, and you also get things like your National Union of Student card as well. So you get discounts on places like Amazon and HMV and things like that. So there is plenty of support available. And as we discussed earlier, there's also the learning support for anyone who may have an EHCP or anything like that. So to answer the support question is, we have a full raft of support services available for anybody who enrolls on a programme with us. So I think that brings us to the end of tonight. That's sort of short and sweet. I really hope that everybody watching has found that useful. As I say, we are in a strange time at the moment. Obviously, some news yesterday that salons are going to start opening may mean that we can adjust the academy slightly. But in the meantime, as I say, your main point of contact is still Julie. I'm sure you've all got her email address. Any questions, any problems, then always, you can always get hold of Julie or myself as well. So all it remains for me to say this evening is thank you very much for attending. I really hope you found this useful. Go out and enjoy the sun, because we don't know how long it's going to last for, and we look forward to seeing you in college in August or virtually for the academy from the 17th of August. Good night, everyone.